Every one of the screws broke. Now we're getting there. We're done on that now. One left to go on here, and we make our holes, line it up. The other thing we're going to do before we put this bumper on is we've got nothing protecting this gas tank. So it's pretty high. I'm not really worried about it that much. But if we do happen to go over something just right, we can have something come up and try to stab it. Rocks, yeah, it'll dent it, but I'm more worried about something trying to stab right through it. So, in cleaning out the other shop, I found this. We have some beautiful galvanized thick sheeting. So we are going to slice and dice this, and what we're going to do is we're going to bolt it on the one side, have it fold all the way around the tank, come back up and sit on top of the bolts that come undone for the gas tank, and then the nuts will go down on top of that. So it'll give it a second skin. It'll basically just run along. It's just, I'm not going through this. Like something would have to, yeah, it'd have to be damn sharp before it goes through that. So at least it keeps it from, we might still be able to get a dent, but at least it keeps it from getting punctured. And that will fix that problem for us. So for now, back to trying to get this done so that it can be welded and then mounted. But before we mount it, as I say, we'll be slicing and dicing and drilling holes into this so that it goes underneath to protect. We're looking at making a small deflector for up here. So we've got a kick down and then a flat here. It's not protecting anything down here. Basically what it's for is just to cover just in this little area. Sorry. So all it's really for is just to kind of come down here, cross, just kind of cover in this little area right here. Kind of give you something else to slide up if you really get to something where you've got to slide up like a wall. Not an individual rock, because then I'm going to hang on that. But like a wall where I've got to get the front end up enough that these tires can grab. So that's what we're looking at. Eventually we've got to replace these grommets in the leaf springs too. But that pan will come back in underneath here to about here and just make another little area for dirt and shit to sit. But it'll just, I think it'll kind of give it a little more of a neat look. And like I say, if I'm coming up to something, it'll help me slide up it a little bit if I really have to.
And now back to the bumper.
because of the gap here, I didn't try to burn it in there. I wasn't about to. But it's burnt in here, here, and here. That's not really that crucial. That's just the older metal. They want to blow through it. It is, however, touched up here. And as I said, the bolts are coming through this anyways, and going through it, through this whole wall to hold on the side plates, as it is on this side. So, as you can see on this side, we got it in, got the weld down the side, got that, and I got it burned in at the top again. So, this is basically ready to go. I still need the 2 holes in here, but I have to see where they line up. So I'm going to have to list this thing up, place it on there, line things up, and then, yeah. And this thing's heavy. So that's not going to happen right this minute. I'm probably going to switch. Well, I'm not sure what I'm doing with this yet. If I'm going to weld it on like it was, or turn it so it looks like a normal one and faces forward. Not sure yet. Gonna deal with that next. After that's dealt with, then I think I'm going to change my focus onto the metal and see about getting the pan made so that I can put that on before I put this on, because I'm hoping to only lift this on, mark out the metals, cut the metals, and then put it back and not have to touch it again. Only thing I did notice with this one, I put this on and now I cannot get this off. In my brilliance, I forgot about this little lip right here. So it comes up. So I can't get, this hole isn't giving me enough room to be able to slip it on an angle and over. So I'm going to see if I can get this off. If not, at least it comes loose so I can get it. I was going to weld the bolts into the frame on that side, but I don't have to. I actually have room to be able to get a hand and a wrench in. So these can be semi-permanent. I can just loosen them to move them around. So we'll see. Hopefully I can get that panel on. If not, I'll have to mod it. Maybe one side will come off and the other one I'll have to wiggle. We'll see. The joys of designing your own stuff. The things you do when you don't have a metal brake. So, as you can see, made a bend. Pretty clean one too. It was a bit of a challenge to get it because every time I drive the car up, it moves the bar over. But we got it. We got part of our bend started. Now that this is already creasing, I can continue the bend. So this is, again, our skid plate for under the gas tank. Then I got to mark down here, 8 inches, mark it off, line it up again, and bend it up on this side. Now, because this is bent, I'm not going to get as close to the vehicle, so I'm not going to get quite as big of a kink on this side to start with. But we'll still get it started, and then we can work it from there. And then I was hoping to do another kink right here, in again, but I don't know. We might just make brackets instead that are going to weld on here, and then they're going to drop on to the bolts where the hangers were and are, sorry, and go that way. No, here goes the rest. Well, there we have it, the start of our pan. Now we get to make a whole bunch of noise by smacking around with a hammer to get more of a 90. Don't want it a perfect 90 anyways. I want a bit of a curve to it so that it does, something catches the edge, it'll slip, not hang up on it. So I don't mind a bit of a bend and having to curve it so it, you know, pans a little bit in the bottom. That's fine. I don't mind that, but yeah, we'll get out there and make some noise here. There we go. Now bent it. Got our hooks. Not perfectly flat. It's bent. It'll do for moose. I got to drill holes in this end. I'm not sure where yet because I wasn't able to line it up. So now that I can hook this, flip it around, we'll find out where the holes go on that side, and we will have a skid plate. There we have it. Bash pan is now on. And underneath, as you see, it kind of drips a little bit there at the moment. Gotta finish bolting it up on that side, but it is in, it is hooked, can't fall off. So we're just gonna get the bolts done on that side. But for the moment, I'm gonna put the bumper on because I can now, and then I can continue to get the rest of the holes for it drilled and mounted. We have 2 of the holes done. Lined up, one on that side, one left to go. Ran out of battery power, but we got them lined up, figured out, and we still got to drill the holes into the frame. Other thing we're working on, we changed the position of the plug just back to a regular straight out instead of the tucked up. It was nice, but a bit inconvenient to get at. I would have had to modify the bracket all the heck to put it back. So I just put it around the right way, so now it just faces like a normal one. And the only other thing we have is we wanted to move the reverse camera. Because my camera was in, and it was pointing like way down like this. Great for lining up the hitch, but not so great for when I was wanting to see behind me the wheel a bit more. So I'm wanting to pitch it up a bit more and get a little bit more view. Only problem is every one of the screws broke because of good old white metal. They're seized in there and they all broke. So whether we use this one, drill them out, do something different, I'm not sure yet. So I'm not sure what we're doing with that yet. We might get another camera. Maybe I'll try to get one that's a little different, a little wider view. That one is kind of more for transfer truck. It's supposed to be way up, giving like a really intense view. So being there, it's not so great. So we'll see. Maybe we'll get something more with a wider view. We'll have to see. And there we go. We now have a bumper back on. So I still have to drill these holes into the frame. You see them up there, and put the bolts in there. That's just to add the extra pull power. So that's going to be done, and we do have the skid plate on. You can barely see it there, but the skid plate is on underneath there. So I get a bolt to put into that yet, but so far so good. So this is a rock slide we took off. I got to measure it, make sure it's the same length as the other one, and then I got to make sure it's positioned right, because we were catching this front corner every time I backed up. The wheel would turn in and it would catch this and grab. So we're going to fix that and get that back on, along with the rest of the stuff we got to do. So our backup camera, he was pointing straight down here. I wanted to change that, so I unbolted them, and every one of these screws in white metal broke. Every one of them snapped right off. So I'm hoping, we will find out if it works later. What I did is I actually got it tilted and I welded the brackets right to the camera, and then welded it up here instead of back where it was. So now it's pointing a bit down, but it should be like, you know, way back here, which is more what I wanted, a little less of the straight down. So I could see if I was hooking something up to my hitch here, but I couldn't see probably past, like, maybe, I'm going to say 5-6 feet. I couldn't see anything behind me. So now it's tilted up more. May not see you as well for putting the hitch on, but oh well, that one I'll figure out. Done it for years without a camera. But on the other side, I'll be able to see further behind me when I'm backing up at things, you know, when we reel in, make sure there's no tree that's going to jump out and bite us again, stuff like that. So that's our solution for that. I do have it hooked up. Once I fire up the truck, I'll test it and make sure hopefully I didn't fry anything in the camera welding it. Alright, well, there's a view of our rear camera, and there's the rear view from the back window. Not bad. That's going to work quite well, I think. I think that's going to be really good where it's positioned. I'm glad nothing messed up. This is awesome. So that's what I've got for now. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you like. Please subscribe. Hit that like button. Share. Help us build. I thank you very much. I'll see you next video.